Well, of course, Nauck, growing up, was a community. It was truly a village where everyone looked out for each other. It was a kind of warm spirit where our activities were centered around the churches that was in existence at the time. The main thing we do not want to lose is the Nauck spirit, that spirit of the village concept where everyone was embracing and willing to uplift and help each other.
I think it sort of means that a better educated, wealthier crowd is moving into a neighborhood that is suddenly trendy and displacing people who may have been there for generations and who can no longer afford the rents. It's so close to 395 and the Pentagon that it's become gentrified because the commute times are so much quicker now for people. Traffic has gotten bad out in the outer suburbs in the last 15, 20 years, and so the land values at any close-in Arlington suburb have risen, and that's why there's a demand for more upscale housing, which does displace a lot of people historically.
Housing costs are one of our greatest challenges. We're victims of our own success in some ways because so many people want to live in the community that we've created. We have more demand, supply and demand. We have more people that want to live here than we have space and rooms and units and homes for. So that by definition drives the cost of housing up, and we spend a lot of time working on strategies and efforts to ensure housing that's affordable to people at lower and moderate income. I think we do more as a community than any community in Virginia by far to try to preserve and create housing for lower and moderate income folks. It's a challenge, it's work and it's expensive, but we're committed to it.
In the worst of cases, all the low income housing could end up way outside of the urban centers and way outside of the surrounding inward suburbs, which would be a kind of apartheid setup where there's long commutes for people who are the service workers of the community, and that's no good. So there does have to, the county does have to do something to counteract the total market forces are not really for the greater good.
We have a very strong tenant relocation program, actually, stronger than anyone else around, where if there's a redevelopment of a building, something's getting knocked down, small building, larger building, and something new going in, we do have tenant relocation assistance, so that recognizing the hardship on that family or that person at that time, they would get some support in terms of moving. And in many instances, if it's one of our affordable housing projects, they would have an opportunity and a priority to move back into the new development when it's completed.
Nauck is quite different now. Nauck at one time was 97% African American. By the 2010 census, Nauck is now 35% African American, 27% white, 21% Hispanic or Latino, making it one of Arlington's most diverse, if not its most diverse community.
Nauck used to be one of the oldest established African-American communities, which a lot of individuals migrated here from Freedman's Village. And two of our churches are celebrating 150 years this year. So that has been, we've seen a lot of change through that, even in the church membership, where a lot of the members no longer can afford to live in the neighborhood, considered one of the last affordable neighborhoods in Arlington, where you can still get a house and it was not so expensive like the rest of Arlington. But it's been scouted lately, and a lot of properties are being bought up and a lot of properties being sold, as we have a lot of aging residents. At one time, Nauck was a very stable neighborhood where you had individuals who bought homes and lived in them for more than 30 years. That's no longer the case. We have a lot more transiency with people moving in and out.
One of the things that's important about Arlington County is that the populace of the county is enfranchised to be an active participant in the approval process. That means neighborhoods through their civic associations. It means individual neighbors that may be impacted by a project. It means merchants that may be impacted. So for many years, the citizens of Arlington have been very proactive in either supporting or opposing projects that they perceive as either are positive for their neighborhood or not positive for the neighborhood.
I don't know that a lot more is going to change in 10 years. We are seeing a lot of the developments or developers that have purchased properties start to develop what their plans are for the future. We've got the county moving some of their storage lots and locations around, like the Art Bus lot is going to be now located within that industrial area. I do see once the 4 Mile Run Valley Initiative Plan is completed, that whole 4 Mile Run corridor could be upgraded and should look much nicer and hopefully will provide more housing.
So right now, what we're seeing is multifamily residential in many areas of the county, particularly the Roslyn-Boston corridor, which has been the most dynamic and best served by Metro. In addition, the Columbia Pike corridor has seen a good deal of growth, mostly in multifamily residential over the last 5 years.
I would say no, they don't outweigh it, but the tough part is how would one stop it? Because the economy rolls on and people have by right ownership of property, and the government is not always able to, or the preservation community are not always able to step in and intercept it.
The only certainty in life is change. The only thing that you can count on is that things will change. The thing you want to do is change in a positive way. You don't want to be the victim of change. You want to be guiding it. You want to have a vision that you want to change toward.
Well, I feel change is, you should embrace change. The thing that change must be understood, and it's like the spirit of Nauck. We would like people to come in and assimilate into the culture, not change the culture. But if there is a change, it should be through conversation and togetherness that people overcome their own little things to develop a new, maybe, paradigm for the community. It's that I'm not against change. I'm against change coming in, taking over, or eradicating a culture that already exists.
Part of that change means taking into account your history, whether it's the Nauck community, whether it's the Green Valley Pharmacy, whether it's HB Woodlawn and the Stratford building in the northern half of the county. Some of the historic properties we have, and that's why we have an historic designation program, Historical Affairs and Landmark Review Board. So, and that's structures, but then you have other ways too of protecting and integrating the best parts of your history so you don't lose it. There is no community we should all be careful about not losing our history, our context, our framework. It's what we build upon into the future. At the same time, you can't get stuck in the past and never change. Then the change will happen and it probably won't be what you want.
But Nauck is really embracing change. Nauck is a community where everyone is welcome into the fabric of the spirit of the village concept. The spirit that existed over the years where every activities were in and within the community. Although you have the freedom to go out, don't forget to embrace and that history of the community. I'm a student of a Sankofa bird. The Sankofa bird is a mythical West African bird that flies forward while looking backwards with an egg in its mouth. The egg is representing the future. You have to look back to embrace or study your past to measure where you are today and how you got to that point. So you can't forget your past. You must build on your past, and you don't know how far you have come until you understand where you've come from.